there, and welcome to my channel. I'm Crafty Kathy. I'm the owner and creator of Kit's Vintage Farmhouse in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I'm so happy and thankful that you stopped in to craft and spend a little time with me today. I've been doing a lot of Halloween DIYs lately, and that's very much unlike me. Usually, I only do like 1 to 2 Halloween videos per season, but this year I have went hog wild with the Halloween DIYs. And I don't know if it's because my grandson is 5 now and he's gotten old enough to really enjoy it, or if it's because most of my subscribers really enjoy it, and so I've just been doing more crafts for you guys to give you some ideas. I don't even decorate my house for Halloween, except for the outside. We do blow-ups, you know. So, in that process, I have really neglected doing fall DIYs. But in this video, that's exactly what we're going to do. I have some brand spanking new fall DIYs that I hope you like, and please let me know what you think about them. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, what in the world are you waiting for? Hit that little red subscribe button and become a part of our family. We would love to have you, and we always have room for more. Now, if you would, give me a big thumbs up. That's the like button, because that really helps YouTube to know that you enjoy my videos, and they push my channel out there to people who've never seen me before, and I greatly appreciate you for doing that. Now, enough of my blabbing. Let's get into the DIYs. For my first DIY, I'm going to use this gorgeous willow wreath. I got it at a thrift store a long time ago, and I reuse it a lot because I don't use glue whenever I put my florals in it, so it stays beautiful and looks new. Now, these are the things that inspired this wreath. I've got this pumpkin that already has like a little pick in it. It must have came off of a wreath. And I've got these beautiful picks that I got this past weekend from At Home, the store called At Home. I don't even know what they are. And then I've got this wooden sign that says Hello Fall, and I got that from Hobby Lobby. It's normally $3.99, but I got it when it was half off. And then I've got 2 things of ribbon that I thought I was going to use, but in the end, I didn't use. So I'm going to start working on my Hello Fall sign, and I knew I wanted a muted brown color, and I came up with this Dixie Belle Latte, and I figured that it would look really good with what I had going. I hated that color, and so I ended up painting it Pumpkin Spice by Dixie Belle, and I grabbed my Distress Oxide in the color called Gathered Twigs and just kind of went around the edges. I didn't show myself distressing it because I didn't keep it that way. And then I found these 2 beautiful bright orange flowers that I thought were going to be perfect. I only had 2. I usually like to put 3 as my focal point. And when you're using a willow wreath like this, it's so easy. You basically just stick it in. I found this bright orange flower in a little pot, and I thought that's going to be perfect. That can be my 3rd flower. Now, this is going to be one of those wreaths. It's my favorite kind, where you just put your florals on one side. And this is how I always start them out. I put 3 right in the middle for the main focal point. Now we're going to add some height to our wreath. I'm going to use these long, fiery red colored sprigs. Like I said, it didn't even say what they're called, but they're gorgeous. I like to cut all of my pieces off. That way you can put them exactly where you want to versus just sticking the whole thing in there, and you can't really maneuver it the way you want, and you can't get them on different levels. You know what I mean? Like some of them to be taller, some of them to be shorter. So it's best to just cut it off. That way you can stick them where you want. I put my first one down low, as you see, and then I went up a little bit. And I'm going to pull the camera back so you can see the whole wreath. If I had to guess, I would say this is about an 18 to 20 inch wreath, and I want you to see all of it. You see, all I'm doing is putting in those longer pieces, and I'm kind of just flaring them out everywhere. I want up at the very top for it to be the tallest, and then kind of come around.
Do you see how I'm doing? The very top is the tallest, and it goes down almost like a triangle, if you will. Now that was that first sprig. I'm going to pull out the second one, and I'm going to do the exact same thing on the bottom.
I don't feel like I'm the best wreath maker by any means, but one of my favorite channels to watch is Ramon at Home, and he shows you that what you put on the top, you put the same thing on the bottom. What you put on one side, you put it on the exact same side. In other words, you match it up, and it just makes your wreath look cohesive. And I use those techniques that he teaches, and my wreaths always come out very pretty, I think. So as you see, here on the bottom, I'm doing the exact same thing that I did on the top. I had 5 sprigs on the top, so I put 5 on the bottom. I put my longest ones right in the center for that height, and then you just kind of go down and make them smaller and smaller.
I wanted to add a little bit of a cream color. And then I realized when I saw that Hello Fall, the color I picked, I was like, that's not going to work. And we'll change that up here in just a minute. Now these are mums, and they come from the Dollar Tree. And they are actually, I like these better than I do the ones from Walmart. They're a beautiful cream color, and I really like them. And I wanted to break up all of that fiery red with just like a beautiful white tone, you know, to just kind of bring it in.
I only had 5 of these mums, so I chose to put 3 up at the top, and I put them in the shape of a triangle, 1 up top and then the 2 down on the sides of it. I think giving it the shape of a triangle just kind of brings a little something extra to it. Here I pulled out those 2 orange flowers. I just felt like it was way too much orange, and I didn't need all that crazy wild color. So I just step back after every time when I add a flower or take away and see what I need. And I'm so happy I took those 2 orange ones away because it was just way too much orange in there.
You guys know, if you watch my channel, that I craft as I go. I don't have a game plan. I just grab a bunch of stuff and I'm like, this'll work. And most of the time I don't even use half the stuff. I just like kind of, you know, pick and choose as I go along and see what, you know, what I need. Now here I'm just using some of this eucalyptus that comes from Walmart. I'm putting it underneath those fiery red sprigs up at the top. And the only thing that I'm using this for is like a background. You don't really want it to be a focal point, so you're going to kind of cover it up. And it gives those red sprigs some height, and they kind of come up off that wreath, if you will, because they're laying down on top of it. And it just kind of adds something to it because there's a background of green now. You want as much like color and texture in there as you can get. When I'm doing a wreath like this, I always go with at least 3 different florals. At least 3, if not more. Sometimes I go overboard and just keep adding and adding, and I have to tell myself to stop. And that's pretty often.
So I ended up using a whole bush of that eucalyptus up on the top and a whole one on the bottom. I do them the same way as I did those orange ones, and I alternate the height, putting the tallest ones in the middle.
I'm taking my pumpkin here, and since it already has the little stick in it, it was so easy just to pop it right underneath those white mums. Now I'm going to use these other ones that I got from At Home. They didn't put the name of these on here either, but they put me in the mind of a cattail or kind of like one of those fiery red pokers or something. They're just a really vibrant orange mixed in with the yellow, so I like that because it broke up all of that bright orange alone. And like I said, I like to add at least 3 different flowers, which right now I've got that background eucalyptus, the green, and then I've got the bright orange sprigs, I've got the ones I just put in, and then I've got my white mums and my centerpiece. So I'm actually working with about 5 different textures here. But sometimes the more you put in, the tackier it looks. So I kept telling myself to slow down. And then I come across these little pomegranates. I guess that's what they are. They came from the Dollar Tree, and I had already pulled the little tag off of them. So I'm just going to place some of these up top, which I think that really gave it something very special. It's different than just adding florals. It's like, just a pretty little pop of something, And so I added 2 up at the top. I'm going to add 2 at the bottom.
And if you notice, I put those in 2 different directions. Like the 2 up at the top, I put those side by side, whereas the ones at the bottom, I put one on top of the other.
I'm going to go ahead and add the other one of these pieces that I said I don't know what it's called. We'll just call it a fiery red poker. I wanted it to go up at the very end because I felt like it needed something else. I was going to add this piece of the Walmart lamb's ear, but it looked terrible. So then I grabbed another one of my sprigs of eucalyptus. I just needed 1 or 2 pieces. And I changed out that lamb's ear for that eucalyptus piece because it just looks so much better. This is a different version of the ones they have at Walmart. They have 2 different ones of the eucalyptus picks. And both of them are just as good as the other, I cut off those last little pieces of the bright orange sprigs that I had because I felt like I needed to add something at the very top so that it would have a little bit more height. And I wasn't totally thrilled about that bright orange flower that I had in the middle. And I happened to look up, and hanging off of my lights, there was this one that was actually perfect. And the good thing about this one is it had a clip on the back, so all I had to do was just pull the other one off and clip that one right on there. And to me, this one looks so much better. Now, I wasn't crazy about that bright glitter in the middle. I mean, it's okay, but I just thought that I wanted to tone it down a little. So I took my rub and buff in the color Antique Gold, and I'm just going to add it in the center because I wanted it to stay gold, but I didn't want it to be that, glittery look. I would much rather it just be a toned down version of what it was. After I do anything here towards the end, I fluff it and then kind of hold it up to look at it and make sure that it looks exactly the way that I want it to be. I found another little thing of cream mums, and these came from Walmart. It only had 2 left on it, but that's okay because that's all I need.
So now I've actually broke the rules, and instead of having 3 up top, I have 4, which is an even number. And I don't normally do that, but I just thought it looked good going around that orange flower like that.
And then this is a pine cone that already has a little stick on it because it came out of a wreath at some point. And I'm just going to add it right alongside my little pumpkin. And now it is time to correct this doggone Hello Fall sign. What I did was painted it the color Ivory by Waverly. And I didn't like that color either. So I eventually took it outside and I spray painted it with my Smoky Beige by Rust-Oleum 2 times. And it just gave me the color that I wanted in the end.
I found this orange piece of pampas grass that I got at Walmart last fall. They come out with them every year, so I know they have them this year. And I'm going to stick that in the top for just a little added flair. Now, I can promise you, if you just use these simple principles to make your own wreath, it's going to come out looking beautiful no matter what florals you use. Just follow those steps and I promise you're going to be so happy.
I wanna know, where did we go wrong? Could we ever change this song into something beautiful, like the beauty that we've seen? I'm asking you, lover, why do you have to be so mean?
I picked up this sign last weekend from the at-home store. It was 90% off because it was 4th of July. I only paid $2.99 for it, and it's over 2 foot tall. It has a stand on the back of it, so I thought it would be perfect to go outside my front door. And I thought it would be good to show you guys how you can either just totally redo your old decor, or maybe if you found something new that you really don't like the design on it, you can change it up. We're going to use this air dry clay that I found at a thrift store for $2, and Miss Lori over at Milton's Daughter said, have a party. So that's what we're going to do. I've got this Hello Pumpkin mold that she sent me, and it's part of the brand new holiday edition IOD stuff. And I thought it would be so cute since we're going to turn him into a fall guy to put a pumpkin right on the top of his hat. Look how tall he is.
So now the first thing that I need to do is prep my mold with some cornstarch. And the reason why you put cornstarch in is because it just helps that clay come out so much easier. I just dust it in on the mold that I'm going to use, and then usually I just throw it off in the floor and sweep it up later. Ha ha, but you didn't hear that part. And then I take my mold and you just kind of warm it up in your hands for a few minutes. Now, I could tell right away that I was going to like this clay, especially better than that Crayola kind, because that kind just gave me a headache. And it was smooth and buttery, and you know all of the IOD molds have that micro rim on them, so they're so easy to use. You just push it and it's like it comes off exactly where it's supposed to stop at. So I added the clay in the smallest little pumpkin and then in a couple of the leaves. And all you do is just flip your mold right over and kind of bend it with your fingers, and it'll slide right out. If it doesn't slide out that easy, that's because the clay is not that great of a quality of clay. And you can try to freeze it for 15 minutes, and a lot of times that'll help it to come out easier. Now, like I said, I just made a couple more of the little leaves because I wasn't sure at this point exactly what I was going to do. When I figured out where I wanted my little pumpkin to go, I used a little bit of my Type Bond Quick and Thick on the back. Now, it's a wood glue, but just about everybody I know uses this on their molds. It's the best thing that I know to hold these molds. It's a quick stick, and it's pretty cheap and inexpensive, so I don't use anything else. But I put it right in the center of the hat, and then I put the little leaves kind of one on each side of his hat. And I put that Type Bond on the back of each one so it would stick properly. Now, once you lay your little pieces down, don't worry about, pushing it in too much, because that Type Bond Quick and Thick grabs onto it, but I do give it a very small amount of pressure so it will stick good. You don't want to mess up your mold, but you do want to press in just a little bit so it'll hold it there. I'm going to use DIY paint in the color called Summer Crush. It's the perfect pumpkin color, and I'm going to paint the top portion of his hat. Right there where you see the blue stripe and the stars, I was going to stop, and I decided what I wanted to do is make my little guy orange and blue because I really like those two colors together for fall. Now, it did take 2 to 3 coats to cover up all those stripes, but it looked so good when it was done. I don't actually have a navy blue color per se, but I did mix up one for the 4th of July, and I think that it was a DIY paint in like the color Blue Iris, along with just some cheap black paint to create a navy color. And what I did was go over that blue stripe on his hat so I could cover up the stars, and it took 2 coats to cover it up really well. And then while I was at it, I went down and painted the little sign he was holding because I decided to keep it blue since my colors are going to be orange and blue. And this little guy is holding 2 fireworks in one hand, and we can't use those, and I couldn't think of anything that I could use to disguise them like something for fall, so I just clipped them off because I have a different idea of what we're going to stick there. And then on the other side, he's holding a flag, and I'm just going to keep that as is for now. He's got a red brim around his hat, and I painted that with the orange color, and it did take 2 coats to cover up that bright red. DIY paint is clay-based, and it's the most amazing paint. I'm a total DIY girl, and if you want to ever try some of their paints, go to my buddy Lori at www.miltonsdaughter.com, and she'll hook you up and help you in any way that you need. She's very friendly, and I'm just letting you know you're going to love Miss Lori. Now, I decided down here on his pants, these stars have got to go, y'all. So all I wanted to do was just paint them navy. And it only took 2 coats to cover that part up. I was real careful to go around his beard, and I used a paintbrush that would make it easy so I didn't make any missteps or mess up and paint his beard blue, because then I really would have been in trouble. I can't draw for the life of me, and I couldn't even see myself trying to shape a beard, to be honest. It would come out looking like something that a kindergartner did. So here he's got on a red shirt, and I'm going to do it orange. And I was real careful in some areas around his beard and had to use a tiny detail brush, but that's okay because I'm in fast motion, but I was really careful to get this to where I would not mess it up and get it on his beard. So I painted his shirt orange and his pants are blue, and then I decided to do his little shoes orange because it just kind of went with the flow of everything. So I gave his little shoes 2 coats of the Summer Crush, and that was enough to cover up that bright red. Now that little flag is metal, and it was a little tougher to cover up. It had the stripes on it, so it took me at least 3 coats, I know, to cover it up. And I hate covering up the flag, even if it is just on decor like this, but I didn't know of any other way that I could do it, and I couldn't get the flag off there, so I had to come up with something to put over the top of it. I took the color beadboard, which is a DIY paint. It's like an off-white paint color. And we're just going to color that part that says American Proud in the middle and the stars. And it took me about 2.5 coats, I would say, to cover that up. I made this little sign on my Cricut that just simply says, Welcome Fall. I'm not versed on that Cricut by any means. I don't use it a whole lot, and I know a lot of my subscribers don't have Cricuts, so I don't use mine that often. But I thought this sign was so cute, and it was actually very easy to make, and I just popped it right on. I took 2 little foam pumpkins that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I stuck them where those firecrackers were, and I decided to keep them white. And then I put 3 little wooden leaves on his hat that I had from, I guess it was Hobby Lobby. I'm not really sure where those came from. And then the little sign that says Give Thanks either came from the Dollar Tree or Hobby Lobby. I get little wood signs like that each season, and these are from last season. I painted it beadboard and stuck it on the little flag. Then I used my Waverly Antique Wax mixed in with water and just kind of went around my flag just to kind of accentuate it and give it a little detail. And then while I was at it, I used that Waverly Antique Wax mixed with the water and went all over my little leaves at the top and then kind of in the middle part of the pumpkin and on the stem of it. That way, it would just kind of have like a light shading effect when it all dried. It's still wet, and it takes this clay about 24 hours to dry, but it looks so good when it was done. I made a simple cause bow and put it right underneath that Welcome Fall sign, and this little guy's finished. Now he's ready for my front porch and the fall. Not bad for just paying $2.99.
I wanna jump around when I think about yesterday. Your smile, your style so fly, my oh my. As time stood still, I got the urge to steal a kiss and just a little bit. Oh, there must be gold on those lips and honey on those fingertips.
Since the first two projects were a little in-depth, the third one I'm going to make really easy. I've got a 5x7 frame, and we're going to use this beautiful, my favorite, transfer out of Holly Glen. Holly Glen is the new IOD book that they came out for the holidays, and I'm so glad I got a hold of one of these. I'm so in love with this daggum raccoon, y'all. I took the little frame outside and I spray painted it smoky beige, which is a Rust-Oleum color, and all I'm going to do is take my transfer and put it on the backing of the paper. Now, I know these transfers are not the cheapest. This book was around, I think, $18 to $20. But if there's a picture in it that I absolutely love and can't do without, like this raccoon, I'll frame it. That way I can have it in my living room. Now, all you do with these transfers is just rub the little tool over it and it sticks. It's very easy. And then you rub the film back over it, and that's called burnishing it. And basically, you're just giving it good connection. Then I put this guy right back in the frame, and he is going to look so cute in my living room. I love woodland critters, but especially around fall, I think of coons and foxes, and there's other little critters like squirrels that just make me think of fall. I've got two colors of gold in my rub and buff. I've got gold leaf and antique gold. I think I'm going to try the gold leaf because I've never really tried it before. It's a little bit more brighter, whereas the antique gold is a little bit more brassier and more matte. I wanted to do that brighter color, so I just wanted to go around and just rub my finger all around this frame, only to accentuate the beautiful little leaves that are on it, because I thought that would be so pretty, and just give it a little pop of color, nothing big. And I'm really loving these transfers from the Dollar Tree this year. I've got this one that simply says fall, and I'm going to put it on one of their acorns. You use it the same way as you do the IOD transfers. You just lay it down, except for on this one, it says to use your fingernail. Sometimes they're a little bit harder to get to stick on stuff, but if you will use something like a fingernail or something kind of sharp, it'll come off on there. Just have patience and just keep working with it. And I still had some of that gold rub and buff left on my fingers and on my wax paper. So since I didn't color my little acorn, I just kind of went around the edges just to accentuate it and give it a little something something. Now I can stick this on the side of my little picture if I want to, or not, but I think it's cute.
You are my shelter from the storm. You keep me safe inside your wings. You are my comfort when life gets hard. You lead me to water to drink, and now I trust your gentle hand, even when I can't understand. I know your voice, I'm not afraid, walking with me at the same pace. My companion, my companion.
Hey, if you stuck with me through this whole video, I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate every one of y'all more than you'll ever know. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please hit that little red subscribe button and become a part of our family. Also, if you enjoyed this video, give me a big thumbs up because it really helps me out on YouTube. Now don't forget, my new show times are Monday and Thursday at 7 o'clock
Eastern Standard Time. I sure do hope to see you in the next, Lord willing, and that creek don't rise. I'll see you guys soon.
Well, hello there, everybody. It's me, Cousin Bobby Joe, Kathy's adorable, gorgeous, beautiful cousin with stars in my eyes. And I'm a-getting out of these Tennessee hills one of these days, and I promise you that. I just wanted to come on here and let you guys know what Spam and Vienna Weenies did to me. I am so upset with them. I mean, they're supposed to be a reputable company, and they're supposed to be doing good business. Well, let me tell you what they did to me. My Lord, they called me out and asked me to come to Hollywood. And they told me that they'd get me a ticket to go out there. But then when it come down to it, now they asked me to pay for my own fare. And it wasn't a plane ticket. It wasn't even a bus ticket. It wasn't even a Greyhound. It was some kind of off-brand name called Sprint. What the heck is that? Now you tell me how a gorgeous, struggling actress such as myself could pay for such a bus ticket. I mean, it's $259.93 to get myself from Chattanooga, shout out Chattanooga, I know you see me, yeah, choo-choo. But anyways, I know that there is no possible way that I can get that kind of money together within a week. Well, I had my heart set on becoming the new Vienna Weenie girl. I wanted to see this face on that little can of Viennies. I eat them every night with crackers. Mwah! You want to talk about a good meal. Except for every other Wednesday, I do like Spam instead of my Vienna Weenies. And I like to get that good spread, that potted meat. M-E-A-T, potted meat. It's in a little bitty can. But anywho, you put it on crackers, it's good. But look at me sitting here giving all kinds of free opportunities for them to use this beautiful face in their commercial. I ain't gonna talk nice about Vienna Weenies no more. What? My hair looks alright. I mean, I just woke up a couple of hours ago. I ain't had time to run a brush through it yet. Don't make fun of me just because I ain't the Spam and Vienna Weenie girl yet. But anyways, I just wanted to let y'all know that happened to me. So be on the lookout. If they ever come at y'all and tell you that they want you to be a spokesperson for their Vienna Weenies and Spam, just tell them no. Anyways, I would be the more popular pick because I am Bobby Joe Womble. But anyways, I'll find a way to get it done because right now my life goal is to be a Spam and Vienna Weenie girl. I hope you like my hair. I fixed it for you. I love y'all and I will be seeing you soon. Maybe on a billboard that says Spam under my name. I love you.
If you did enjoy this video, I've got one right here with very similar content that I think you'll like too. All you got to do is just hit that little button and it'll take you right to that one when this one's over with. I'll see you guys soon and I love you. God bless you and your families.